Hello, the ICT4AG community. Good afternoon and good evening wherever you are. It's a pleasure to really moderate the session for the next 1 hour. My name is Ephraim Tosfai. I'm a development professional working in development sector for the last 14 years. I'm currently working for Development Gateway as a program manager for Livestock Information Vision for Ethiopia, which is a live program based in Addis Ababa. Development Gateway is an international non-profit organization that research data ecosystem and build technical tools and advise digital strategy to strengthen data decision making. Thank you for joining the panel discussion. I'm moderating on the topic, localizing a transformative livestock data system and navigating capacity gaps, insight from the livestock information vision, Ethiopia's partnership with Ministry of Agriculture. This topic is primarily focused through the lens of livestock information vision Ethiopia, a live program, which is being implemented in collaboration and partnership with Ethiopian Ministry of Agriculture to transform Ethiopia's livestock data system. To give you some background, Ethiopian economy relies heavily on agriculture, which accounts like 40% of the GDP and 80% of the export. And approximately like 75% of the workforce is engaged in agriculture, which is, and also in addition to that, the government is really focusing the agriculture as one of its a pillar to really transform the economy in its strategy, the pathway to prosperity, 10 years perspective development plan. From the agricultural sector, the livestock subsector accounts for roughly 46% of the Ethiopian agriculture GDP. But despite the importance of the livestock subsector, productivity has remained low, and one of the significant barriers to the development of this subsector is Ethiopia's current livestock information system. Mainly, the system is significantly impacted by variable quality input data and limited analytical capacity, resulting in a lack of timely, accurate information flowing through Ethiopian livestock value chain. In addition, poor data quality, fragmented system, and the limited analytical capacity have already limited the government's ability to plan, implement, and monitor livestock growth strategies. So in this context, a fit for purpose livestock information system that is interoperable with new and old information platform is required. So we started to implement the livestock information vision for Ethiopia's phase 2 program back in December 2022. The program built on the Alive phase 1, which generated the livestock roadmap and where our technical and ecosystem priorities have come from. So the program aims to address, it is prioritize livestock decision makers' needs through improved accessibility, interoperability, reliability, and use of livestock data. In addition, empowering the Ministry of Agriculture to make data-driven decision. The data that will be made available through the Livestock Information System, or LIS, will help streamline supply chain and improve smallholder farmers' access information, markets, and resource. So the program mainly work to make things as simple as possible, to inform policy making for resource allocation, improve service delivery, and enhance the productivity of the subsector and the livelihoods of the actors across the value chain, and provide reliable, comprehensive, and timely data on mainly on population, genetics, markets, and other segments of the livestock value chain. In addition, without access to regular, reliable, and timely and useful information, the Ethiopian Ministry of Agriculture will encounter challenges in ensuring agricultural prosperity in general, in the livestock sector in particular. So, having said that, I'm pleased to introduce the panelists with us today, and I will begin by providing a brief bio of each speaker. Our first speaker is Professor Alemayo Ragasa. He's a professor for veterinary epidemiology from Hawassa University, one of the senior public universities in Ethiopia, where he served as different positions as vice president for research and technology transfer. Also, he served at the university at different capacities, and he's also an instructor and researcher. He also published over 50 scientific research papers and also reviewed national and international reputable journals. He has served the livestock sector at various positions. He has rich experience of working with various international organizations, government institutions. Professor Alemayo currently working for Development Gateway, located at Ministry of Agriculture, Ethiopia, as a senior livestock advisor for livestock information vision for Ethiopia, or a live program. The second panelist I'll introduce is Dr. Hadgu Mandafro. He is the head of livestock identification and the traceability director at Ministry of Agriculture. He is an accomplished veterinarian and a cancer researcher, celebrated for his significant contribution to veterinary services, public health, and the digitalization of animal management system. And he has emerged as a respected professional in his field. The third panelist here is Dr. Meron Mogas. Dr. Meron is a veterinarian by training. She graduated from Addis Ababa University, College of Veterinary Medicine, in a Doctor of Veterinary Medicine. She pursued her PhD in the University of Sharda, India, in biotechnology and completed in 2023. Meron has rich experience in teaching, research, and the community teaching, research, and community services. Her work focuses on transboundary animal disease prevention and control, livestock emergency response, and other animal health issues. Currently, she is the head of disease prevention and the control directorate at Ministry of Agriculture. Our fourth panelist is Ibrahim Mohammed. He is a software developer, Ministry of Agriculture, a seasoned software developer with more than 7 years of experience in designing, developing, and maintaining web and backend applications. His expertise includes full stack development, API integration, and the database management. So I would like to thank all the speakers for joining us today. And the panelists will speak about how the Ethiopian Ministry of Agriculture benefited from the timely, relevant, and interoperable data on the livestock information system. How is the system level capacity building support benefiting in improving skill, process, and the data analysis and the visualization at different level? And also how the program is strengthening data use culture through capacity building, design policies, governance, and incentive, supporting ownership and sustainability, and also how the standardized and interoperable livestock information system in Ethiopia can provide numerous benefits for the livestock subsector. So each speaker will have 5 minutes to respond to the questions. If you have any question, please send them to us via the chat, and you can set aside 15 minutes for of the session for Q&A session. So thank you. I will start with Dr. Argu Mandafro. He's the head of livestock identification traceability system at Ministry of Agriculture. So Dr. Argu, thank you to have you here in this session. My first question for you is, why does Ethiopia need a centralized digital system for livestock data? And also, can you tell us what benefits your system, Ethiopian livestock information traceability system, has to the actors involved in the livestock industry, like across the livestock value chain from producers through traders, exporters, and consumers. So it's how do you see the benefits across the livestock value chain? Thank you, Dr. Ark. Over to you.
Thank you, Mr. Ephraim. Thank you, all participants, and thank you for the ICT for Agriculture 2024 host. I think Susan is also with us. So I thank you very much. It's a nice platform that will help to exchange the experience we have. So before I go to your question, I try to give some background on the Ethiopian livestock. So to start with, Ethiopia is developing a strategy on digitalization, which is called Digital Ethiopia 2025, with the theme that digital strategy for Ethiopia, inclusive and prosper. So in this strategy, it's clearly articulated that there is the need of digitalization for the development and prosperity of Ethiopia. So the strategy has some objectives. One of the objectives is it should be inclusive digital economy. So with the objective of job creation, increasing foreign income, and inclusive prosperity. In this aspect, at the ICT for Agriculture 2024 clearly set its theme that it localizing impact through inclusive, inspirational, and innovative. Ethiopia is also in line with the theme of the ICT for Agriculture 2024. Having said this, Ethiopian livestock identification and traceability system is marching to revolutionize livestock industry in Ethiopia by localizing its impact through inclusive, inspiration, and innovation. How it could happen? Let me explain it. When you say it's inclusive, we mean that it involves all stakeholders from pastoralists, smallholder farmers, to traders, and even bigger exporters. And it also involves governmental and non-governmental institutions, researchers, and universities. So it's inclusive. So in all aspects, from the pastoral till the top exporters, it involves in its activity. It also inspires trust and worthfulness among the stakeholders, from the local to international traders, so that the locals, they will get proper market, and the consumers also confident that the product they get is well traced, and the animal or the product is coming from well-fed animal. So this will create trust and confidence among the stakeholders. That's an inspirational. It's also innovational. When we say innovational, it involves technologies which are state of the art, like we use mobile application to know the situation of an animal, a tagged animal, its location, its breed, its age, all those stuffs. So it's also innovational. It also includes barcodes, those barcodes which are, cutting edge technologies, which are also helping in identifying and tracing of our products. So having said this, now I will come to your question. that you mentioned that why it is important to centralize digital system for livestock data in Ethiopia. So it has numerous advantages, or it has numerous purposes. Among them, it enhances food safety and public health. How? Because our system involves traceability. Traceability means any product or animal product, it can be traced back how the animal was growing, whether its welfare is kept, and its health status. So it is enhancing food safety and public health. The second is it improves disease control and animal health. How? It is efficient in disease surveillance and monitoring when the animal gets sick, when the animal not only sick, but also when the animal gets treatment, when the animal gets vaccination, all those are recorded. So that it helps in improving the surveillance and monitoring, which has ultimately has an effect on disease control. Third, it boosts economic efficiency and market access. So how it boosts economy? It helps the producers or exporters to comply to the international requirements because the data is there. So it makes sure that it's compliant with the international standards. This helps to access market. Ultimately, this also helps in incurring forex exchange for the country. It also helping in minimizing expenses because operational costs will be minimized. So that's also very important in boosting economic efficiency and market access. It also supports farmers and pastoralists because it informed decision making will be taken in any intervention, so that this will help to to intervene when necessary on the any this outbreak happens on the pastoral or producer level. It also helps the farmers and pastoralists to get access to financial institutions because it's setting up any animal which is destined for, kept for any animal or movable asset. It could be a collateral for loan. So when an animal is identified, the farmers can get access to financial institutions, whether through loan by keeping their animals as collateral, or to get an insurance or saving. So it helps in this way also. It also facilitates research and development. How? Because if the data is centralized, it is easy for researchers to access it. So to make any kind of research, like genetic improvement, breeding, health control strategies, such kinds of things will be helpful because the data is centralized. It will be available for the researchers and development workers. So in these aspects, it's very important for the Ethiopia, to keep this livestock data to be centralized. I think I answered the first question. With that, there is also additional question, which is what's the benefit? So what's the benefit? So who is benefit from this? From this, we do have different actors which are involved on the livestock industry, from the farmer to again to the exporters and different actors. To start with, the farmers or smallholders, they got benefited because their livestock management will be enhanced, which means that if their animals get tagged, it means that they will manage their herds, and they also able to track individual animals their health record, and their performances also, productivity. If they are not productive, they will call out. So it will help in the farmers with this aspect. It also helps them in this control and prevention because each animal, when identified, if it got sick, they will quickly identify and respond to that animal for any intervention, treatment, or other kinds of interventions. It also minimizes loss and maintaining the health of their herd because if they able to track, they know that that animal is not well performed. So either they will sell it or they will do some kinds of intervention. So that will minimize the cost of medication, treatment, and the decline in productivity also. But it also helps the third one. It also helps in market access also because if their animals are identified, they will have a premium value on the market, so that it also helps them to access market. It also helps them in financial inclusion or financial service to get loan, again insurances and other kinds of savings. The other actor will be the traders. So the traders, how they gonna benefit from this identification and traceability system? They become more efficient in tracking and other logistic aspects. How? They ensuring if animals are transported safe, they make ensure that their animals, what they have, are safely transported. If these animals are safely transported according to the guideline of the regulatory, they will not lose anything like insurance, all those things, because the insurers for transport, they ask them for to follow proper guidelines of the regulatory body. So this will help them in insuring their animals. It also increased transparency because when the animals tag, the traders, they are make sure that what they transport, they will get the market because they are transparent about the health status, well-being of that animal. It also streamlined transactions. Whenever they need to do transactions, it's already known that those animals are their number, their status, everything will be in line, and their health status also be well recorded. And the third one, which is benefited, the benefit that came from livestock identification traceability is those exporters. Those exporters get benefited from livestock identification and traceability system by like they will get compliance with the international standard because all the recordings help them to be that they are sure that they are compliant with the importer country, and so that they will get proper certificate. And the second one is they improve marketability. This ultimately leads to be get a marketable product, so their trade volume will increase. The third is risk mitigation. The risk will get mitigated associated with outbreak and food safety issues because if something wrong happens, it will be traceable back. So they will not lose the whole product, but with individual animals or animal product. So I think this is a benefit for the exporters. Also, we do have benefit for consumers. Consumers will be benefited from identification traceability because they will get safe and quality food. They are sure that what they eat is safe and quality. And they will be transparent about the product. That's also important. The third one is maybe it's additional. It also helps on sustainability because whatever product they premium, it will get a market, a demand. So that plant which produces this kind of item which is preferable by the consumer will get a sustainable market. which also helps in sustainability. So, having said this, overall to the livestock industry also has a benefit. It given a privilege or a leverage to do a decision on data-driven decision making, whether to the government or researcher or the trader. The second one is it enhances regulatory compliance because it's transparent. So what is the requirement and how they fulfill, everything will be clear. So that will enhance regulatory compliance. So they will be in line with the regulator. The third one is economic growth, how it will help in economy. As I said before, it improves market access, it enhances productivity, it also ensures food safety to the consumer. So I just summarizing that this growth or the implementation of livestock identification and tracing system in Ethiopia, it helps it helps all stakeholders involved in the livestock industry, and the livestock industry at large also benefited from this system. Thank you very much. If my explanation is correct, clear.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Adgu. You really provide a detailed, the detailed, explanation of the need for a centralized digital system and the benefits that will bring to the stakeholders across the livestock value chain. Thank you. Thanks so much. So my next speaker is Professor Alemayu Ragasa. So my second question for you is there is so much data across the many systems. So can you talk about the importance of data standard and the experience of you are recently leading and coordinating the national livestock data standard development in Ethiopia. So share us your experience in that in developing the national livestock data standard, and also the importance of highlighting the importance of data standard as well. Thank you, Professor Alemayu. Over to you.
Thank you very much. The Ethiopian Ministry of Agriculture, specifically, Office of the Livestock and Fisheries Resource Development State Minister, has been working, towards transforming livestock farming system over the last 6 years. We started from designing the roadmap, livestock formation roadmap, so which ultimately, believed to improve, policy planning, programming, and to better serve the wider livestock sector. So, as you said, one of the important accomplishments in this regard is, the standardized livestock data across the board nationally. We have gone through a long process to design the national livestock data standard, which I will say a bit later on. Just as a livestock professional and as a person who has been serving this sector, I can say that having livestock data standard is really a turning point for the livestock sector because, as you know, it improves the quality and the availability of data across multiple information systems, allows the information system to communicate to each other, properly. As Dr. Hadugu mentioned, one of the systems, which is LEADS, we have about 7 livestock information system or databases nationally, which is reviewed and documented, and which is functioning at different level. We have health information systems, animal disease notification system, disease outbreak vaccination reporting with DOVAR, which is reporting daily disease outbreaks and the monthly disease outbreak respectively. We have also a laboratory information management system. We call it SILA for Africa. It is a livestock diagnosis and the laboratory information management system. We have LEADS already mentioned. We have livestock market information system, genetic information system. Why I'm listing this. My point here is that these systems are functioning in a fragmented way and separately. So what we are doing, at the Ministry of Agriculture level, with the help of actually, development gateway, technical support from DG, we want to make this system to be interoperable, because interoperability will allow users to access and analyze data coming from various sources without, duplicating data processes. However, this interoperability can only be achieved by using common standards, protocols, formats, interface of data exchange, establishing effective coordination mechanism among different actors involved in livestock data management. So this is the point where the importance of data come in. So, it wouldn't be possible for the system to communicate with each other and exchange data without standardization. As you may know, most of our system, the system I mentioned above, they are telling us the same thing in different way, which is really challenging to integrate, collate, and summarize data from these systems at different levels and sectors. For example, just if I exemplify with few points here, age of animal, for example, the same data is being reported as ordinal data in one system and continuous in the other. For example, if you take age, one system reports as adult and young, the other mature, immature, the other in the form of numerical values with birth date, which is really confusing to talk about, which is impossible to talk about integration, interoperability, so that we have to really agree with which we have to, report with understanding from different sources. If we take the other example, this is name. Some of these have more than one name, these with multiple names. One system report with name X, the other with YX. So we can't really talk about interoperability again. So we have to agree with which name should we report, So we can raise a lot of examples here, animal species, breeds, and a lot of issues there. So when we say data standardization, I think you agree with this. It means creating common language for the systems, So they have different. Now we may have, different local language which we speak, but now to talk to each other, to understand each other, we use here common language English so that we can understand each other. So with this analogy works for our different systems. So, we have to create common language so that we can talk about interoperability, we can talk about data integration, data access, data governance. So that we mean by data standardization. So therefore, we standardize the data in our system so that they can consistently exchange data and become interoperable. This will also support the analysis and the dissemination of the data for planning, monitoring, evaluation, and the learning process, and also reduce duplications, inconsistencies, and the incomparability of data sources. So I think nationally now the data standard is designed and approved. Accordingly, the common definitions, formats, indicators, protocols for collecting, processing, storing, and sharing livestock data among different stakeholders will be developed and implemented, which we designed implementation guideline, which is clearly indicated there. So these are some of the importance of data standard. One point which I want to mention here is really data standard also facilitates data access. Data standards are closely aligned with data access. It allows data users to find information quickly, and also helps data managers to protect the valuable data from getting compromised or exposed to unauthorized people. And the other point, it also improves the data governance. Data standards are applicable and implemented across the entire spectrum of data operations, including data governance. So the data standard implemented in data governance are also crucial for avoiding the improper or mistaken use of data. So these are really, we can say about the importance of data standardization in the data standard. I can say these are some of the important points. Maybe just to tell you a few points on our experience, the process we went through to standardize the Ethiopian national livestock data standard. The data standardization process modeled after international best practice, and all relevant stakeholders were engaged in, of course, with the Ministry of Agriculture and the Development playing a key role in planning the discussion, guiding the process. So the process involved one, livestock data field mapping, meaning that each system I mentioned above was technically reviewed. This is to understand how data are structured and formatted, and how core fields are enumerated, and their status and the gaps were identified. We started internally through reviewing what is there in our systems. Even though they are fragmented and working separately, we have to know their status, what is the structure, format, and the core field. And the other important point, the third point, is the international context. We have to understand what is the international context, the international standard, so that in the long run, we are going to align, make interoperable our system to the international systems. We followed ICAR Animal Data Exchange Standard as a benchmark. ICAR, I think International Committee for Animal Recording. And also we used World Organization for Animal Health, the former OIE, particularly to standardize some of the livestock diseases because they are well documented there. So core fields from the ICAR data standard was also extracted and reviewed. Finally, we tried to compare what is here in our systems and the international experience or to the standard we are referring to. The third important point, really, which is a good lesson during our process, is the discussion we were having with system owners. We started engaging the system managers, the system owners, livestock experts of the ministry, and key stakeholders to engage and contribute into the development of this data standard. So on how to address the difference between each system with the ICAR standard, and to establish agreement on necessary changes for achieving the interoperability. The other point is defining the scope, which was one of the challenging points also. In a country where there is no livestock data standard at all, it is not feasible to standardize each and every data at once. So we had to define the scope. We defined it in line with, of course, the roadmap, which actually advised this. The scope is, with the animal species, sheep, goat, camel, cattle, and also data categories, meaning that population data, location data, health, market, genetic, and production data. So again, we came back to the system managers and reach on consensus and with all the managers. So I think this is a good lesson. So development of finally we drafted the draft data standard document, and also we conducted a minimum of 3 co-designing workshop on which the system managers, the livestock experts, particularly the key stakeholders from sister ministries, the horizontal ministries and the stakeholders, and also vertically from the regions, and some important key stakeholders are engaged, and we try to assess what is there, and we use their contributions. And finally, it is endorsed at the ministry's management level, and of course at the governing committee of the program, at the presence of the donor and the implementer. So the next step is actually this implementation, which I mentioned earlier, through to be implemented. When we say implementation, both the horizontal familiarization and the cascading to the vertical structure of the ministry, so that everybody will own and update data collection, processing, and storage accordingly. Yeah, maybe, that's it. Philip, thank you.
Thank you, Prof. Indeed, it's a turning point to have a livestock data standard. Thank you for your really brief explanation. Thank you so much. I'll move to my next speaker, which is Ibrahim from MOE ICT team. So my question for you is, as a ministry software engineer, how do you evaluate the value of central data repository, which is data lake, and what is the potential impact could this data lake have to on other systems beyond, the livestock system within the Ministry of Agriculture, because there are also other systems in the ministry. So so how do you see the impact this data lake on other systems? Over to you, Brian. Thank you.
Thank you, Ephraim. It is a pleasure to be in this panel. So, in the Ministry of Agriculture, we have diverse programs and projects to utilize at least 23 individual systems, so to collect and store program-specific data. So this isolation nature of the systems can hinder the comprehensive analysis required for informed decision making. Retrieving and aggregating data from the display sources is often labor intensive and time consuming, leading to delays in decision making and decision making process. So the implementation of the centralized data repository, such as a data lake, presents a transformative solution by harmonizing data from various systems. It provides a unified platform for accessing and analyzing information. So in the context of livestock management, where data from 5 different systems is pertinent, the establishment of a dedicated data lake can significantly enhance the ability to conduct a wide range of analytics. With a centralized data lake in place, stakeholders within the Ministry of Agriculture gain access to a wealth of integrated data, empowering them to drive actionable insights more efficiently by breaking down data silos and enabling collaboration across departments. So the data lake fosters a culture of data-driven decision making, and moreover, this scalability of the data lake infrastructure ensures that it can adapt to evolving data needs and accommodating future expansions of integration seamlessly. So when it comes to the impact of this data lake, even though there may be a number of potential impacts this data lake could have on other systems, but I want to highlight the two most important ones. So the first one is enhanced integration and insights. So this means is this data lake can be accessed by or integrated with different existing systems within the Ministry of Agriculture. So this provides insights into the correlation between livestock activities and those systems activities when combined with data from the systems. So these systems are the one that I mentioned before, the 23 or more systems within the Ministry of Agriculture. So it strengthens the process of informed decision making by offering a more comprehensive view of the agricultural landscape. And the second one is this data lake can be used as a benchmark for future implementation. So it can be a model for creating data lakes specific to other sectors within the Ministry of Agriculture, like crop production or fisheries. Additionally, it can guide the development of a single unified data lake for the entire Ministry of Agriculture. So this ensures streamlined data management and analysis across all sectors. So this is from my side. Thank you. Back to you, Efraim.
Thank you. Thank you, Ibrahim. So my next question is for Dr. Mero. As a senior expert at Federal Ministry of Agriculture, how do you see the challenge of data use, analysis, and visualization in Ethiopian livestock subsector? And how does data use training help really to improve data quality, availability, and accessibility across the system? Thank you, Dr. Mero. Over to you.
Thank you, Ephraim, and good evening all. And it's my pleasure to be part of this Zoom event and to share my experience. And when I come to your question, considering the existing data and information systems, specifically in the livestock sector, specifically in the veterinary service, we use data of disease outbreak, laboratory results, and vaccinations data and disease control and eradication program, like the national program like TPR and REDIS, where Ethiopia is committed to eradicate and control this disease using the national animal disease surveillance system. And however, the data are fragmented. As I mentioned, we are collected using the national animal disease surveillance system, which incorporates two systems, that is the disease outbreak and vaccination reporting system, and ADENIS, which reports the active disease onset. And from the lab, we are collecting data using Excel, and we have a challenge like timeliness, completeness, quality are also the main challenges we are facing. The existing systems are not adequate enough to gather other veterinary service data like the clinical service, the infrastructure, the workforce, where currently a live project is working to address those identified gaps. On the other hand, descriptive analysis, specifically biannual descriptive analysis, have been done with experts in the epidemiology directorate regularly to share the information with the stakeholder. However, in most departments, there is a limited capacity on data analysis and creating better visualized reports. This is also one of the challenges to generate quality data for informing the policymaker or the decision maker to allocate or to avail resources and budgets for vaccination or for other veterinary services. These are those we are facing currently. And for example, challenges in allocating budget, specifically in our directorate, we are giving the transboundary animal disease to regions freely, but allocating this budget by enforcing the policymaker is a big challenge for us every fiscal year. In this regard, the recent hands-on training provided by a LIFE project enhances the skill of professionals on data analysis and visualization. And in my opinion, this kind of trainings, since the trainings have been given with the demand of the directorate in the veterinary service, so this needs to be continued and addressed at the grassroots level to bring all stakeholders on board and to bring all professionals on the same level on data analysis and data visualization. And we still need more training at all levels from the district, as I mentioned, from the district level to the federal level. As mentioned by Professor Alamayo, trainings have been given at a different level for federal experts. And we also appreciate and we also saw the fruit of these trainings. And I really appreciate the efforts that have been made by a LIFE project on the veterinary service. And in order to strengthen the data quality and the reporting system, since even if we are doing a lot and compiling and bringing all the data that have been done from the grassroots level to the federal level is one of the key issues to address all the veterinary service challenges and combating the disease that have been faced by our community is also one of the plans that the government gave attention, specifically in this new initiatives like Yelima Trofat. We have to give attention for all the data, all the disease outbreaks, all the disease occurrence at the onset or immediately to bring the response in time. So by this data use training that have been given by LF project, improve the data quality, availability, and accessibility across our system. Thank you, April.
Thank you, Dr. Meron, for your brief explanation. So let me check if there is any question on the chat, webinar chat. I think so far there is no question from the participants. So let me go back to for second question to Dr. Hadbo. As you know, we are currently developing a livestock identification and traceability mobile app to make it easier to record livestock data in both in the offline and the online setting. How does this really affect the data collection process from really various sources such as feedlots and laboratories and others? Maybe over to you, Dr. Adu. Thank you. You are muted.
Am I audible now? Am I audible now?
Yes, yes.
Okay, thank you, Ephraim, again for the question. I would like to thank again Alive Project for developing, which is a mobile application, which is a good version, because here in Ethiopia, I mean, the work we are doing, it also works with the pastoral people, with small animal holder farmers. So at a time, it will be difficult to access the network coverage in those all areas. So having mobile application, which is applicable also offline, is very important for data recording the all the necessary data like registration of the animal, registration of the owner, and registration and coding of the establishment we are looking for. So, I mean, it's helpful in streamlining data collection so that it will be simplified input, even those areas which are with good coverage of network. It also minimizes the the data data entry error, so that it will be more bounded on the quotient, and the formats need to be filled, so that it will be helpful also in minimizing human errors. Which means it enhances the data quality and accuracy, of course. It also helpful, as I mentioned, of data collection with low network coverage. It also improved traceability, because if you properly record your data, then it will be transparent, accurate, and precise, so that when you trace back and forth, it will make life easy for anyone who wants to be trace that product, for regulators or even for the producers themselves. It also helps in operational efficacy, so the operation will be more efficient and timely in real time. So whatever you enter, it will be real time, so that it will increase the operational efficiency of our system. It also has some integration with existing system, because it's a version of the existing database, database system, so that it will be it is helpful in integrating whatever we record on the mobile app. It will be immediately integrated with the data or with the server we have, so with the database. So this will be very this will be very important, because whatever you record on the mobile app, if it doesn't compatible with the with the database, you will get information which are which lack the required data, or it might be extra data which is out of the context of the database. So it's also integrating with the database. That's also very important. So this makes easy for us to get accurate data with minimum human error to our database. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Adgo. I think traceability, transparency, and accuracy are, the main benefits as you mentioned. So once it's, implemented, it will really transform the data collection process across the board. So my next question for you, for Professor Alemayo, I'll come back to again. So we have like 4 minutes to to respond this question due to the interest of time. So as a senior person of in the Ethiopian livestock subsector, how do you see the livestock information vision project contribution in localizing impact and in transforming the livestock data system? And what is the projects is really doing differently? What do you see in the contribution so far? Over to you, Professor Alamayo. Thank you.
Yeah, good. Actually, this need more time to explain because the contribution of a live program is really very significant. But I will mention a few of them at least. Yes, a live program is contributing a lot towards transforming livestock farming system. First, it started from designing the livestock farming system roadmap during phase 1. Now the ministry is implementing the roadmap, particularly working on the key recommendation by the roadmap with the huge technical support from development gateway. Just to mention some of them, I already said that is a turning point to have the data standard document now. And also we are, the data governance and the sharing policy is almost to be completed and to be endorsed, which is again another turning point for the livestock sector because we don't have data governance and the sharing policy. This is a huge gap, so this gap will be filled. And the other is, as Dr. Mero mentioned, the capacity building issue, for the livestock expert, the system managers, the ICT team of the ministry. So this is really huge contribution. And also the main goal or the nucleus of all this is making the livestock system interoperable. The livestock farming system dashboard is being designed or almost at the verge of completion. So, and also strengthening each livestock system in many ways, really. I can mention a lot, but what I want to really say here, so during this move, what makes a live program implementation modality different are, the embedment modality. The live team, DG team is embedded in the ministry and working all the activities in close collaboration and cooperation with the ministry leadership and the systems managers and the ICT team of the ministry. Really, this enables the ministry leadership and experts to be, willing to properly engage in the program activity, and above all, to own what is going on and really eager to see even the results too. So this is a great trend. So this also created a good platform for knowledge transfer. We are working with the team, with all the team closely. So we also learn from them what's on the ground, and also that a live team is sharing what is there. So I think this is a very nice platform for knowledge transfer. And this will assure the binding point is the sustainability of livestock farming system transformation even after a live program may be completed. So because the ministry leadership owned it, the expert owned it, I hope personally the ministry will keep doing this and move forward, to strengthen more the livestock information system. I think due to the time, maybe let me stop here. Thank you, Ephraim.
Thank you, Professor Alemayo. Thank you so much. Thank you to the speakers and the participants. We will end our session here. So see you next year in the same in similar event. Thank you so much. Have a good evening.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. A live project with the minimum budget, doing a great job. So thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Argo. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.